Welcome to all in SST College Arts and Commerce. This is SST Edupedia. Today I am going to start a presentations of FYIT SAM 2 subject microprocessor architecture, and the topic is introduction of the microprocessor. My name is Vandana Soni. Let us start with the related are the topic. First, microprocessor introductions defines to a content of unit number 1. These are the contents: microprocessor, microprocessor computer, assembly language. Next, microprocessor architecture, microcomputer system. Next one, 8085 microprocessor architecture and memory interface. These three content we have to learn about the basic needs of the microprocessor. First, start with the definitions of microprocessor. What is the microprocessor? Whenever the definition is defined to a meaning of particular process, but is thing that the very much small thing related to a related hardware component parts. So microprocessor is nothing but to deny the microprocessor programmable device that takes in the numbers, performs the arithmetical or logical operation according to a program stored in a memory, and then produce the other number as a result. So what is the main advantage related to microprocessor? To handle all over brain relation organization in the computer process. It is inbuilt to a CPU. It is by default we have to seen in the CPU. I am taking such a simple example. If we see the advertisement of Intel, the Intel microprocessor show the some chip like that and the put on the machine. This is nothing but a microprocessor, and the microprocessor is work as a work performing as a brain of a computer system. So it's such a minimal kind of the information related to a microprocessor system. Now, second one, we have to discuss a microprocessor based system. From the above description, we can draw the following block diagram to represent the microprocessor based system like this. We have to see a microprocessor is perform as a mediator. One side input, second side an output, and after we have to see in a downside memory. The memory arrow is bidirectional. It means what? The memory is the flow in the fluency. Whenever we put on a input in a microprocessor system, it should be written back some output, and the flow of the memory is content of the data. Next one, we have to see the inside the microprocessor. Generally the process is thing is behalf of the we have to see the some function related certain parts. So microprocessor and its content related some magic parts like arithmetical logical unit. We can also we can say ALU, control unit. Also we can say CU, and the third one an array of the register for the holding of the data while it is being manipulated. So the three major things to make a whole organization of the microprocessor: ALU, control unit, and the register is the main content related microprocessor system. Next one, we are seeing the organization of the microprocessor based system. In this system, generally we are seeing the such a diagram. This diagram represent the ALU, register, array, the control. Three major techniques making a complete microprocessor development. And the second one, we have to see in the red symbol like a arrow, the system buses. Mainly the system buses is performing transferring such kind of the information. Input output just transferring a data information, and memory hold the data and release the data. Whenever the comes the any situations regarding to a transferring a data, manage and manipulation, it should be very beneficial to a holding and release the data by a memory process. System buses is the technique, and the input output is nothing but a simple process. Now Now we have to see the 8085 microprocessor architecture. It is very useful or very beneficial for something learn about the new thing. It is a very old, yes, we should know about the 8085 microprocessor no one can use in right now condition, but this is the generations and this is the history. So whenever we catch up the history, we try to are the best in performing a new kind of the hardware related component. So let us start with the microprocessor architecture. 8-bit general purpose register pair. Second one, cable of the address 64K of the memory, hash 40 pins, required 5-volt power supply, and can operate with the 3 megahertz clock pulse and 8085 upward compatible. This is a configuration of 8085. Now we are the seeing the such kind of the box and small pins are connected. This is nothing but a IC. So first we have to start with the configurations with the IC. So X1 and X2 represent the input system. Whenever we try to send any kind of the information in a IC, so X1 is a X2 is a just a input pins. Rest of the pins performing a lots of operation like a sort, trap, interrupt, lots of the activity will be connected with the pin. And now we have to see the box comes AD0 to AD7. It means what? It is nothing but a address data bus. Suppose I am giving a such a example. You want to go somewhere. So what you are doing the first was by means any kind of the means a traveling process like a bus, like a train, like a motorbike, whatever you want. So just start with your source and last is your destination point. So buses also performing this life cycle. So AD0 to 87 is nothing but our bus. It's just transferring a data to one source to destination, and the rest of the pins performing such a another task. Like we have to see a VCC is nothing but a 5-volt, and input output memory performing a input output of the data, some kind of the resulting process. Read and write, both are the pin is performing a reading and writing operations. ALE address latch enable, we are transferring a data to one source to destination. It should be on and off process must be going on. This kind of the pin saturates the situations as the transferring a data. Now we have to see the sum A15 to A0 address buses. These buses is kind the information for gathering the informations and release to store the data in a accumulator. Okay. Now we have to something learn about the system buses. So generally the buses is defined in 3 different elements or 3 different part. First start with the address bus, second with the data bus, third one is a control bus. So the data address bus is performing such directions for a movement of the data transferring unidirectional. Okay, so it may, what is the meaning of the unidirectional? The data is flowing of the both direction, and identify a peripheral of the memory locations. Okay, so unidirection we can also take a walkie-talkie key. Sometime the information is released to one source to destination. To in that case the one process is done, then second will be executed. Second bus is the database. Bidirectional is the both the direction is the active mode and transferring a data in a very fasting. Control buses is like a synchronization signals, timing signal and control signal managed by a control buses. Next we are seeing the architecture of the Intel 8085 microprocessor. Okay, this is here a block diagram, and block diagram we are seeing the lots of names and box in particular architecture. So it is a generation, like we have to maintain this kind of the process and learn about something is particular architecture. So start with the accumulator. So accumulator is the first process, and temporary register, flag register, instruction register. These four register is a basic 8-bit data. What is the meaning of the bit data? It means the slot. Okay, the slot is represent a bit. Okay, so 8-bit, it means the fixed 8-bit data is the occupied by a particular register. Okay, now second side we have to see in the lots of register will be there, B, C, D, E, H, L. These are registered is a 8-bit, but the sometime they are the join, it's act as a 16-bit data. Next stack pointer is a already 16-bit data represent. Next program counter is also 16-bit data representation, and increment decrement address ledger 16-bit data representations. Next we have to see in the instruction decoder and machine control is connect with the instruction register. ALU performing a main task to transferring a data via accumulator, temporary register and flag register. Instruction decoder transferring a data to a timing and control. The timing and control the whole over cycle for a transferring and managing a data. And the last we have to see the program counter and the increment decrement is connected with the address buffer and the data buffer. We can also use the data buses, and it's totally connected with the 8 internal data buses format and the interrupt control and serial input output we do so. So this is a basic architecture of 8085. It should lots of activity will be there, lots of instruction will be there. Just we have go through that. Microprocessor consists of the control unit, control microprocessor operations, ALU performing a data operation function, and register provide the lots of the storage of the some kind of the information. Just we have to see in the ALU is the arithmetical, logical and circuits. We have do lots of activity, some arithmetical kind of the operations of plus, minor, division like that. And we have to see the register. The register is the accumulator and flags, combination of both of them. So start with the B and C, D, E, H, L. We can also use by using instruction in the single register, but whenever is needed. It means what? 16-bit data is needed or 8-bit data is needed. Okay, so if with the 16-bit data is needed, so what we have to do? B, making a pair B and C. If we are only take a 8-bit data, so we have to use only one register like a B, D, H, C, E, L, whatever you want. And the next one is a program counter and a stack pointer. It's also specify only 16-bit data. Now is a flag register. Flag register is some kind of provide the information to related a sign. Sign, it means what? Whenever we got a result, we should provide us something a name. Which name we can do? So flag is a performing a task to making a such kind of the output name. Start with the D7 and with the D0. Is totally is a 8-bit data is in a flag register. Sometime is a indicate D7 is a sign positive, negative. Okay, D7 okay 0, sign is 0. D5 don't care, not to change to anything. D4 auxiliary carry. D3 don't care, not to change. D2 priority, even priority, odd priority. D1 don't care, and the D0 is the carry if it is generated in a flag. Thanks.